Hi, my name's G. Yep, just like the spot. And I'm wearing a hat now. OG.
So this is my first YouTube animated video. Yeah, this is animated as you'll get. So I guess it's not really an animation,
But rather a compilation of lines traced in such a manner that they might depict a series of pictures which are then presented one after the other so that it can trick the eye into perceiving the illusion of movement which could possibly pass for a chip animation? I guess that's the definition of animation though.
Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, sure, we'll stick with that. Seriously, no joke, this is as animated as you'll get. Either way, animation. So for my first bit, I'm gonna talk about one of my firsts. Not my first kiss though, cause I can really remember it. She just flew away. So that happened. So where was I? Oh yeah, my first kiss. Well, not my first kiss, cause I don't really. Oh, let me stop right there. I don't want to trigger that thing again. Okay, moving on. Not my first time, even though but my first memory. Said I in a provocative manner. But before we begin, let's address the elephant in the room. I have an accent. And you're probably wondering, oh, what could this beautiful accent be from, mate? Panini. Okay, I totally butchered that. I was supposed to be Australian with some Italian, I guess? So, me being the intellectual that I am, I was about to make a joke like combining the words Australian and Italian to make a new word, but for whatever reason, I just spoke like out loud Australian and Italian again? Just guess my IQ. Then I thought about Australian, so... Okay, I lost track. Oh yeah, I'm Mexican. Yay. Don't believe me? Well, check this out. Tacos, tequila, parqueadero, tiquete. Rolling my R's. So with that out of the way and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, may I present to you my first memory. And for any French speakers out there, me fait mémoire. That couldn't be more wrong. But so it all started in a land far, far away called Monterrey about years ago. Yeah, so I don't actually know how to bleep words, so I'm just gonna say bleep every time I want to censor something. I'm sure you guys can follow, right? Yeah. Who's smart? You smart. Okay, bleep it. Let's continue, otherwise I'll just continue to ramble about random stuff and I'll never get to the story. But you should also probably get used to it because I'm easily distracted. Like there was this one time back in 2008 when
75 years later.
And that's how we came to realize you should always check your shoes for cockroaches. Lesson learned. Beep. It did it again. It all started in Monterrey about beep years ago. That's me as a kid. You can tell by the little head with the spinning thingy on top of it. Swoosh. Imagine that it's spinning. I have no idea how to animate that thing is spinning. Swoosh, swoosh. Look at it go. So I was sleeping on my parents' room. I was 5 years old at the time, so it was like totally cool for me to be sleeping on my parents' bedroom, I think. My mom then got in the room and proceeded to gently wake my butt up. She pulled up a chancla and threw it at me. JK, she didn't hit me. My dad, on the other hand, that's a story for another day. Maybe, I don't know. She actually woke me up by singing the happy birthday song. It took me a second, but then it finally hit my 5-year-old brain. It was my freaking birthday. Just like that, I'm wide awake because I know what my birthday means. But I'm getting older, and my body continues to decay more and more with each passing day, and will continue to do so until the day of my inevitable death. Also... presents! After looking everywhere for what it seems like forever, I was still not able to locate any presents, and I thought, presents equal love. and I see no presents anywhere, so it must mean my parents don't love me anymore. As I was preparing myself to call child services, my mom said,
Go downstairs. There's a prize for you.
my eyes brightened up. The sun was shining again. And my parents, well, they'll be free to see another sunset. I rolled downstairs, and so it can be happening. I've been deceived. Betrayed by my own parents. All I saw was my dad sitting on the floor messing around with the TV. Which was kinda odd, since there was no logical explanation as for one would approach a TV when we have, remotes. But then, I saw it. It was beautiful. Sexy. Amazing. Mind-blowing. Undescribable. Though I just described it. It was a Nintendo 64. I was mesmerized. I'd found love at the young age of 5 years old. I was in love with this thing, like writing my vows in love with it. I took the cartridge out of the box. By the way, I got Mario Kart 64. And then I slowly put it in. It was good. I proceeded to turn it on, and oh yeah, I knew exactly which buttons to push. It was a dance. It was like, oh yeah. And then, it was on. As soon as the TV image came on, we went on for hours and hours, just like, well, not quite though. It was more like minutes rather than hours. Since my birthday happened to be on a school day, so still had to go. Even though it was my birthday. Seriously. To have a broken heart at such a young age. Life was tough. That day taught me that. And ever since that moment, I began slowly walking from instant to instant. No time to stop and smell the flowers. No time to live. Just breathe in and breathe out. Hoping that my next breath will be the last. I know I'm so dark. At least until I got to school and so they had a bunch of cookies for us. Life was good again. I ate and I ate and I ate and I ate and I ate. Crunch, crunch, bite. I ate so much I grew a torso. No longer was it just a head with arms and legs and a cool hat. Neat. I had a body now. Which meant I also had a bleep. My first It was the middle of the day when I suddenly got the urge to go to the restroom. So there was I, dancing in my chair, trying my best not to let the brown out. I raised my hand, since apparently I needed permission to evacuate my bowels. School, man. Tough times. I looked in the teacher's direction, and she said, yes. Okay, that sounded like a chair squeaking. Yeah, so she asked, yes. So I opened my mouth and let my vocal cords vibrate air through my throat, making their way to my tongue where they would be molded into words. And it sounded like, I got the restroom. I don't know, can you? No, I'm just kidding. She didn't make a lame joke. She did say no, though. My 5-year-old brain thought in Spanish, since I didn't know there were other languages at that age. What does she mean, no? I'm a goddamn 5-year-old who's about to go brown all over the place, and she says no? No? Really? Really? Tsunami. Oh, I'm sorry. Maroon tsunami. I'm just there holding it in, my stomach aches, my eyes are twitching, and I'm sweating as if I had just run a 10K marathon. Little farts begin to escape my butt, but I'm reluctant to let them out because I was at that point where I didn't know what would come out of my tiny beep, and she says no? The nerve in this woman! So I relaxed myself, but not too much, because, well, you know, and tried again. May I, please, go to the restroom? Nope. Again? Really? Really? What the heck is addition that's so important that I can afford to miss it in order to relieve myself and prevent the bladder infection? I'll tell you what. Nothing. We were 5 years old, for Frank's sake. Oh, it's on. I raised my hand slowly one last time. This was the final battle. I can see the rage in her eyes as my tiny hand remains put. We stare at each other from across the room just like cowboys in those old western movies. Our fingers in the trigger. We were both ready to shoot. Ready to do this. Oh, bleep is going down. Down, I tell you. Her breathing intensifies and I swear I can see fire coming out of her wide open nostrils. She's getting ready, filling her lungs with ammunition. What words would have come out of her mouth? I can only imagine the horror. The massacre that would have taken place that day. In that small room, from that far, far away land called Monterrey. I can only imagine. As she couldn't say shh since I crapped myself. Yep. I guess she didn't counter with the fact that I had the force of nature on my side. And, well, when nature calls, well, someone's bound to answer. So they called my mom to pick me up since my pants were filled with beep. And my mom just went nuts on the teacher and the other staff for not letting her sweet 5-year-old use the restroom. And crapped himself in the middle of the day. New pair of underwear, $6.99. New pair of pants, $8.99. The look on their faces, priceless. MasterCard, not sponsored. So just like that, we began the long trek back home, where I was about to be faced with the toughest decision yet. Was I ready for it? Clearly I was not. We crossed the street and got home. Yeah, I used to live across the street from school. So we got home, I took a shower. I was a brand new man. I was clean. The possibilities were endless. I could be an astronaut, a lion tamer, a telemarketer. I could do and be anything. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Back to the story. My mom just came out and said it. You can either go back to school to play with your friends and finish the day, or you can stay home. And while she didn't say more, I knew what that implied. That meant I could go back to getting it on with my brand new Nintendo 64. The choice was mine. It was overwhelming. I know. Real problems. Just kidding! The choice was quite simple as 140 now. Wait. 140. Oh, poop! I guess that's what she was trying to teach us. Huh. Either way, I just went back to school and made all the other kids smell my armpits. True story. Okay, bye.